Nature. You all know what it is. You might even picture it right now. A path in the forest, mountains, the seaside, a garden with bees and butterflies. Did anyone picture this room? Their workplace, their own body? What if I told you that nature is everywhere and impossible to separate from you? I worked 20 years in research. I looked at life at the microscopic level. I studied genes, molecules, microorganisms. I saw and understood connection by measuring, doing experiments. But when I walk in the forest or sit by the sea, I feel this connection. I feel in relation with the place where I am and a part of myself that is often hidden but always here. This feeling is not strange. Humans and nature, we go 300,000 years back since Homo sapiens appeared on Earth. Our ancestors, they did not live in nature. They lived as part of it. And if we look at the words they used to describe places, it shows that the life of the land was a part of who they were. Today, this notion is still present in many languages and cultures, especially indigenous, while it has disappeared in many others. In French, which is my mother tongue, or in English, nature now describes something outside, something else. We say, I love nature. But what is this nature we speak about? Is it a place? And if so, where does it start? Where does it end? Over time, we've built a wall between us and nature. But this separation is an illusion. There is no wall. Nature is not only outside. Nature is within you. And it is your partner. We need to communicate again with each other, to not miss out on all the beautiful possibilities of this relationship, and to not miss out on a part of ourselves. This is about taking down the wall, finding each other again. This is about a love story. 5 years ago, I took a new path in my career. From microbiologist, I became nature-based facilitator. Now, I help people and organizations make nature their life or business partner. I help them rediscover this relationship. Imagine yourself at a place you love. What can you see? What do you hear? What can you smell? What do you feel? Our senses, our communication pathway, they are essential bridges to this relationship. Unlike the wall, senses are real. The links they create and their effects are real. Let me share 3 examples. Human cells sense molecules produced by trees, called phytoncides. These molecules are part of the defense mechanism of the trees against insects and fungi. When we walk in the forest, we breathe them in. Studies show that this phytoncide boosts our immune system, making us stronger. In the soil lives billions of microorganisms, mostly unknown. One bacterium, Mycobacterium vaccae, produces a fatty acid that human cells sense. This interaction activates the serotonin pathway linked to happiness. This bacterium, the soil, makes us happier. In nature, there is repeating patterns called fractals. When we look at them, the electrical activity of our brains is modified with an increase of alpha waves. This is characteristic of an awake, relaxed state. Looking at nature makes us calmer, stronger, happier, calmer. Isn't it a relationship worth taking care of? When I guide people outside, I often hear them naming this feeling: happiness, relaxation, a sense of belonging. And if ever you got this idea, no, I never tell people to hug trees. But they do that on their own. And sometimes they come back with interesting thoughts, like this man. Laurence, this was really nice, thank you, but now we have to go back to the real life. What? Was everything we experienced a dream? What happens to the love story when we do not see time spent in the forest as real? Reality became inside, work, Excel sheets, PowerPoints. The senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, are not part of it, and we close the door of communication. Could it be because we do not consider that nature exists in those places? And yet, it is still there. In every breath you take, in every cell of your body. Let's take a deep breath together. You felt the air entering your lungs? Oxygen, the fuel of your life, comes from the forest and the oceans. With every breath you take, you are in an invisible yet full connection with the world. And as you sit here listening, amazing things are happening in your body, home to trillions of bacteria, essential to your life. They help your digestion, they protect your skin, they even influence your mood. These bacteria are you. We are walking ecosystem, interacting with other ecosystem through the air we breathe, through our senses. To not let this relationship take place in our life, in our work, is missing out on our well-being. You remember? Stronger, happier, calmer. But studies show that this relationship also boosts pro-environmental behavior, pro-social behavior, and creativity. So what are we waiting for to give it another chance? Steps have been taken. Biophilic design and natural material are used in building, corporate garden, and outdoor offices are created. Meetings take place outside. These are great steps. But we can go further. Populations that experience their environment as part of themselves ask for advice to the land they belong to. They do it through rituals, ceremonies, and celebration, because this relationship is not only about practicality, it is also about how we experience being alive, how we interact with the world. We need to reinvent our rituals, our ceremonies and celebration to acknowledge the presence of nature in our life. And that's happening. Music streaming services recognize nature as an official artist. Royalties fund environmental projects. A British cosmetic company has a human ambassador for nature on its board of directors. Nature votes and receives annual reports. In France, biodiversity councils give voice to all life in territorial projects, humans and more than humans. Could you ask trees outside your office about a sustainability plan? Or the river crossing town about urban management project? Could they be your extended colleagues? Does it sound silly? Well, I'm pretty sure some of you here have a dog or a cat, and I'm pretty sure you speak with them on a daily basis. I'm even ready to bet that some people here tonight speak to a plant they have at home. And this without feeling weird or silly, because they are part of your life. We let our lives be led by algorithm. We chat with bots. But we do not speak with beings we share places with. They thrive in network we call ecosystem. Let's contribute to it. This love story is not over. We can all, taking down the wall, rediscover this relationship, make it flourish again, to be fully ourselves, to embrace all possibilities and co-create a living and joyful future. So, let's start. Let's start tomorrow, this weekend. Be crazy. Be fully human. Fall in love again and go out on a date with nature. Thank you.